All right, welcome into the Daily Fix every day at noon Central Standard Time. This is the Daily Fix with Ron Hughley. As you can see right there in that little box is the very wholesome Steve Serta in the little box where he rightfully belongs. And we have fun here. A lot to get to today on a victory Monday for a lot of teams, especially the Chiefs, who remain the lone unbeaten team in the National Football League right now. But first thing I want to do is, hey, however you're taking this in, if you're on Twitter right now, we appreciate your ass. Thank you for listening. If you're on YouTube, we appreciate your ass. Thank you for listening as well. Thing I would need you to do right now is head to our YouTube channel, Foolish Club Media. Please like and subscribe. The Daily Fix is brought to you by Foolish Club Media. Like and subscribe, and then you get on there. You see a lot of other stuff. You see the Daily Fix. You see Show and BK. You see Beach Season. You'll see Brian's World. You'll see all of the things that we have to offer, and much more coming on Foolish Club Media. But please like and subscribe it on YouTube. And remember, if you don't do so, you are preventing my 3 children from eating. But as I said, a lot to get to. It's finally over, but that may not be the most wild thing about the whole Deshaun Watson situation. We'll get to that. And hey, we got to start having a conversation that I didn't even think was a conversation to be had, because when I look at the components, it don't make sense. But we will get there. And before we get to where I want to kick this thing off, Steve, I love to put you on the spot, but the latest thing here is Jalen Watson. He has suffered a right fracture in the ankle. Right, there's not an understanding if he is out for the season yet. Right, I think they're still wanting to see more to see if he'll be able to come back.
Yeah, we're still waiting for an update on that. Andy Reid usually talks around 12 o'clock on Monday, so he's probably getting ready to join the media over Zoom here in a few minutes. So hopefully he'll have some kind of update. But it is a bummer. Jalen Watson has been tremendous for the Chiefs this season, filling in as the replacement for L'Jarius Sneed. So it's another serious injury that could drastically affect the Chiefs.
Yeah, and hell, it ain't filling in no more, man. That's his spot, right? And now they got to find somebody to fill in for him. So Watson broken ankle. It was serious. You start to see Andy walking out there checking on guys. That's when you kind of know it's a bit serious. So we'll update you. Foolish Club Media will have that for you. Follow us on Twitter everywhere, and you'll get an update on that as well. But the thing I want to start with, Steve, I gotta be honest with you. The Chiefs are 6-0. The Vikings lost to the Lions, so they are the only unbeaten team. I know I was listening to you and Rocky last night, and hell, you're in a place where I am, because y'all were disheveled to start the post game show. You were. I believe you said it yourself, Steve. We're all over the place right now, but it is crazy because, Steve, I'm not shocked that the Chiefs won the game. I am a bit surprised how they won it and how easily they won the game, Steve. It was 28-12 with a minute left. Right? They got that meaningless touchdown, especially became very meaningless after they didn't get the 2-point conversion, and then that fantastic onside kick that occurred. We'll go past that. But 28-12 with a minute to go, and Mahomes and the offense, like in the passing game in particular, they didn't play great, right? I mean, he had 150-something yards passing. He had 2 picks, no touchdowns, and they had 1 rushing, and he had a couple of signature plays. But for them to win by double digits and for them to just take the ball and step on the necks and drain the clock out. And Kelsey had 17 yards in the game for 4 catches, and Mahomes threw 2 picks and had 150-something yards. Like, The Juju goes down. McCole Hardman, who loves to play the 49ers, comes in and does things. Like I am legit surprised how convincing that game was won by the Chiefs. Not surprised they won. Not but how convincing it was. And we talked about it last week, didn't we? Sort of. Does Mahomes need to play an A game to win this one? Hell no, he doesn't. Hell, he played a C game, and they won. I am blown away how they pulled this off.
It's just the Chiefs' experience at this point. Like, it's the coaching staff, it's the experience of this team that has done more winning than any other team in the NFL over the last several seasons. And they're at a point now where they are not dictated by your game plans. They decide what the game plan is, and they force you to play how they want to play football. And that's how they continue to win, even though there's mistakes week after week, even though there's ugly performances week after week, even though the offense, it just keeps losing guys left and right, and they keep having to manufacture things and figure it out. Like, they're just continuing to get it done through experience and excellent coaching. And it's the biggest advantage that they have over anybody else in the NFL.
It's nuts. It's starting to show, like, now, I don't say that there is a gap right now because I think the injuries are there and real, but it shows if they're halfway healthy, there may be a pretty big gap between the Chiefs and the other teams. Because they just their last two games we've been talking about. Boy, can we get some comfortable games? And they got the last 2 weeks, and this one on the road against the Niners. And I'll be honest, I know they have injuries, and you lose Ayuk, you lose Jennings before the game starts. Debo can't go, but I'm gonna tell you right now that I'm not going to say the game wouldn't have been more difficult, but I don't think they're making it up. It's 28-12 with 1 minute left. Like, the hell with that. All right. Listen, I'm saying I can't believe they won the game the way they did, but I think we clearly know that the number one reason is this damn defense. And listen, clearly this defense is special. We are 6-7 weeks into the season, 6 games in, and we can see that this is a special group. But the thing that I'm serious. I want to talk about this a bit. I only got a minute 35, but I want to talk about this a bit, Steve, because, like, is this better than last year's defense? I told you last year was the best defense I've ever seen in my lifetime watching the Chiefs. And that does include the Derek Thomases, the Neil Smiths, some of those Marty Schottenheimer defenses, Gunther Cunningham defenses. Last was the best. There's no way that I was going to think that this year's defense was going to be better than last year's because they just lost talent. I thought, obviously, L'Jarius Sneed to me was the best corner in football last year. They very well might have replaced him and have the best corner in football right now. And Willie Gay, I thought, was good. Chris Jones, you start to think he's getting older, and maybe where's that go? Their production's better. Points allowed feels the same, if not better. They're turning the ball over much more than that team did last year. Are they actually better than last year's defense, Steve? Even though I look at the team, especially before the season, I didn't think their talent was as good as last year's. They feel like they may be better than last year's defense. I'm not sure. I just never thought that was going to be something that I would say.
I think right now they are better. That might change if Jalen Watson is going to be out for a significant amount of time because he's been amazing this season. But we've seen Trent McDuffie make this total superstar turn, and he was already an All-Pro last season. But he is the best lockdown corner in the NFL right now, in my opinion. Chris Jones, who seemingly had a quiet day yesterday, and some of that is just because of all of the attention that he commands. But that freed up George Karlaftis. Tershawn Wharton has been incredible for the Chiefs this season, coming back off of a significant injury. Like, this is an undrafted player that they developed, and they just it's all of the draft picks and assets that they've put into that defense. Like we're seeing all of that manifest now to where even though they lost L'Jarius Sneed, even though they're still waiting on Charles Omenihu, and there's other and they lost.
God, I forgot about him. I forgot about him.
Yeah, like they're going to get even better once Charles Omenihu returns because he was incredible for them last year when he came back after his suspension. And it's just that Steve Spagnuolo and their defensive coaching staff right now, in my opinion, is the best defensive coaching staff in the NFL. And they get the most out of those players. And the Chiefs choosing to put a lot of that draft capital into the defensive side of the ball is paying off because they went out and they got guys that fit what they want to do. And so Spags just has this embarrassment of riches that he can deploy on a weekly basis. And it's why they haven't taken any step back from last season.
No, it's crazy. I'm with you. McDuffie has taken his game up to another level, and he was a first-team All-Pro last year. I think Nick Bolton, this arguably is the best Nick Bolton that I feel like we have seen in his career. He's taken it up a notch. The run defense is ridiculous. The Niners couldn't do much
That's
of anything.
That's the most shocking thing about
which is how they are week after week. And then Chris Jones, you feel like, all right, man, he's starting to hit that age. He's getting better. FAU is a respectable player now that can give you snaps, right? Up and down. They didn't have Dana yesterday. Like it's wild. All right. Finally, this has come to an end. Deshaun Watson suffers a season-ending Achilles injury. The fans, of course, booed his ass right on out of the stadium. With that, he was in tears on the cart. And I'll be honest with you, Steve. There's two parts to this. The first part for me is, maybe it's getting away from me. I think we've seen his last game as a starter. And the
worst quarterback in football this season.
Listen, and he was 15-17 when he got injured. And it's more than just his play. Like there's some guys that can sneak up, but as you said, he has fallen like we've never seen before. He's just not what you want in the locker room. I don't believe whether it's him or what baggage he brings with you. I don't think anybody wants to mess with that. I think only reason people want to mess with that is because you remembered him being one of the great young quarterbacks, and that's clearly gone. So you don't even want him in a Jameis role and a backup role. I think we may have seen the last of Deshaun Watson. I would rule out in the NFL, but definitely as a starter. Because I don't like Cleveland. This is an Achilles. He's going to miss the rest of this year, probably next year, if not most of that. And he's not going to play for them, and that'll be it. That'll be all she wrote. But the other part to this is Myles Garrett. What the hell's gotten into Myles Garrett? I mean, I understand defending your quarterback, but listen to this nut. Here we go, Myles. I mean,
like I said, no one deserves that, and I hate using the word deserves. I'm usually pretty consistent saying earned. He hadn't earned it, and he doesn't deserve it. No, man does pretty much everything right. He's been a model citizen through college and most of the pros. He plays the game as hard as anyone I've seen. Puts everything on the line, willing to throw his body out there, and he plays the game at 100 miles per hour. And there's a risk of being injured, and he took that risk. But we have to be there for him as a team, as an organization. We can't look down on the guy because of any mistakes on the field or anything off the field.
Okay. First off, Myles, he has not been I don't care what the hell you say. That young man has not been a model citizen on and off the field. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that time when Donald Trump said, nobody has been better with women than me. Now listen, Don, after all the stuff that has come out with you, like you can't say nobody's been better with women than you. Nobody. Like you can't put yourself at nobody has been better with the track record of some of the things that you found yourself in. And the same thing with you, Myles. You can't say he has just been a model citizen. Clearly he is not. He didn't play for a year because of his non-model citizenship. All right. Yes, he wasn't convicted of that, but you knew he something was up Like you got to be kidding me with all of that. Like that is just over the top from Myles Garrett. Just bold-faced lying with a straight face.
Is he just being a good teammate?
No,
Because
he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
The
No,
offensive players have made it pretty clear they don't like Deshaun Watson. So why is Myles Garrett out
I'm not like he could be saying you could be a good teammate by lying about that stuff. But the one thing you can't walk up there and say that he has been a model citizen on and off the field, Steve. We cannot have the guy who's got over 25 complaints at 25 subpoenas and things pushed against him for sexual assault and worse. More over 25. We can't have that guy be. He's been a model citizen on and off the field. And he doesn't try hard. He doesn't go 100%. I'm sorry. He doesn't do that either. So Myles, listen, I understand protecting your teammate, but that was foolishness. Hi, Mom. And Courtney.